Hello everyone. My name is Kholeka, but I go by Coco, and this is Natasha. And today you're on Dirty Dishes.
Dirty Dishes it is.
So today we just came through. We wanted to engage like a topic with, dirty dishes, as you guys know them. In this segment, I forgot what it was called. It's According to You. And wanted to talk about something like kind of serious. Well, it's not really serious.
It is.
It's whatever.
No, it's serious.
Okay, it's serious in some aspects. Okay. For everyone, it's been like a journey thing where you kind of needed to identify yourself with something. Like, and then for me, I found like in a place, I was always like, no, I just like people. And I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know what to say. I'd be like, no, I just like people. Would you date this? And I'd be like, I just like people. If that's what happens, it happens. And then I was really much older when I ran into the term pansexual. And then I drove into it and I was like, wow, this is me. So basically pansexuality is
because some people don't like putting labels.
Yes, because you don't necessarily want a label, or not want a label, but you don't want to be like, hey,
classified.
I'm lesbian, or hey, I'm bi, because I think it creates a lot of
barriers.
Yes, for a person
to express themselves.
So I don't know. For me, it was more about expression and how I express myself sexually, and so I identify with pansexuality.
Yeah, but also for some people, it's more of they sapiosexual. Do you understand?
But do you think things like that are like real?
Yeah, they are
like,
real. For some people, like, it is real, but people just won't show you or come out because of how society is about people's sexuality.
Yeah.
You understand? Hence, you get Motu at the end of the day comes out at the age of 50.
Because they don't know.
And then you understand? Like, it's especially in the black community, for Banna, it's really difficult. For women, it's okay. Like, it's still acceptable. Do you understand? But for Banna, it's difficult for a guy to come out. Because you know how guys are.
For girls, I think it's easier. Because for me, I'm like this is now my experience in society. I'm a very feminine passing person. Most people would meet me and be like, you're into guys, Like, I don't look like anything I'm not. I'm not androgynous. I don't look slightly tomboyish. I just look like a girl. And when people meet me, they're like, oh, they assume that narrative. I'm into girls.
Also, people need to understand, because people from the rural, so about sexuality, for them it's like a taboo. They're not normal. Like, they're not used to such things in their communities. Like, for Bona, it's like more of KCB.
So basically everyone knows the first few. So LGBTQIA, so lesbian, gay, bisexual, LGBT, and then trans identifying people, and then and queer, and then asexuals, and then you get you get pansexuals, and then what's after that? That's where I would stop, per se. Like, not stop, but that's where up to I know how. And then everyone knows the basics. Like, trans people are people that not identify but are born with the wrong assigned gender, if that makes sense. And then pansexuals are people that, I think this relates more to sexuality in terms of like being. I'm not into, let's say, boys or girls or anyone per se. Not that I have anything against the binary or how people are like, categorized. I'm just into people. So anyone, like trans people. And I know people hate that when pansexuals say that, because then it's like, why aren't you bi? I'm like, because there's a lot of not restriction that comes with being bi. It's just, I feel like then you're supposed to conform to, there are a lot of things that you have to conform to in identifying as bi.
I don't have any thingy, like, I don't have any funny. No, I like the hands.
Natasha really likes hands.
Hands, dog. Yo, when I job at the mapara. Yo, mapara.
She really likes hands. Like, it's like I'm fully into what I am. Like, I really just like hands. I'm lesbian. This is me.
But I'll satisfy hands. Okay, guys. Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. Being like Christian, because I grew up in a very religious home. Like, my dad's a pastor, and so there was church every Sunday. Then our house was always full of like church people. You couldn't really. It wasn't something that was talked about, except when it's addressed in a very Christian context. Like, this is not something God is for. And there are many Bible verses you can quote. Like, I love how people say the Bible isn't homophobic, because it is. So me as a Christian and coming to terms with that, because I still love Jesus, it was such a weird journey for me. Like, because it's wrong according to the people that I relate with and going to church, but it's who I am. So it's not something I could ever talk to my parents about. Like, I don't think my parents actually know half the people I've been with or dated, because it's like, okay, what are they gonna say? Like, I brought a boy home, but that's because that was typical. They expected that. So one day, if like I'm getting married and I don't even know how I would go about having that conversation, because it's like they're not concerned about who I'm with and who I'm dating right now. But then when it needs to come to that point where like, now we want to spend the rest, I want to move in with this person, I wouldn't know where to start that conversation. You understand? Because I could never have it. It's not something I could have.
Yep.
So I don't know.
People need to like learn more about these kind of things. Learn about informal. This is how it is. And it doesn't mean if I'm this type of person, then can I do drugs?
Yes, there's that.
Money, hey, the drugs.
No, I once bought, okay, like my friend.
We must
create having exorcism.
Job up anything, but then apart from that, guys, but legit, like, guys, in the black society, it's a big thing.
It is.
And then,
it really is.
Whereas Gomakueng, like, I think they are more informed about these things.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Like, there is
like, than like Hinka, where the like from research.
Yeah.
Makua, but they accept it because of they know about these things.
Yeah.
They're more educated about these things and they're exposed to them.
Yeah.
And whereas in the black society, it's more of it has negative connotations.
More, especially the more religious it gets. Like,
the more religious it gets, especially if you're a PK, like in Toloro, they don't expect the PK to be this person.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Oh yes, my friend who was out and stuff, she came. My mom saw her with her girlfriend and they were like making out or something like that, like, And then my mom was like, oh, you must tell me, so your friend, does she like girls? I'm like, yeah, she's lesbian. She's like, oh, she's like, you dare bring someone that is not a man? And I'm like, oh, you don't know. So it's not funny. Like, it's really not, because it's a conversation I can't have, because she's already, like, it's banned from their heads.
Bye, shut that down.
Oh, I think the dumbest thing that you ever come across is when people like meet you and they're like, oh, so you're into like 3-sums or 4-sums. Or like, so we could fuck a bunch of people. And you're like...
Like, the dumbest that a person would also don't pretend, like, it's more of who's the guy between the
Oh yeah, there's that.
Like, as you're fucking dumb to say that. First time, like, you don't do that.
When I met Natasha, I know this is probably like the weirdest thing to like, but you were wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Right? And then the next time she came, she looked like a little boy.
No, like a little boy. I
told you though, that day I was like, this actually but like that, you really don't conform to anything, so people really do expect.
And also that thing, a guy was let's smash, and then you decide if you still
like
that's like what's that, dude? Like like
I don't want
yo, dude, no. Like once a guy starts saying that, nigga, peace out.
I think we're really behind, like in the world as a people. Like, I think our logic is we still see it as something to accept of another person. Does that make sense? We still see it as, I have a right to comment on that person's life. I don't think we've gotten to a place where we can mind our own yet and just know that people are living in a way that makes them happy and I'm living in a way that makes me happy. So do you understand? It has nothing to do with my life, and we have nothing to do with each other's lives, like the way we interact on that front, so why does it matter type of thing. So I think we just need to get to a place where we accept people and not see it as an act like we're giving them a right to exist, or we're giving certain people a right to exist in our space, if that makes sense. Like, oh no, I'm tolerant enough. Like, I don't mind having a game about, or I don't mind this. South African women are really homophobic, despite us being the more understanding gender. I think they're like, you'll find maybe a girl and she's like, no, if I found out my man ever made out with a guy, like I can't, you'll call it quits. Like, you can't date someone who's ever been with a guy, or do you understand? And for me, that in itself is so horrid. Like, why does that have anything to do with the relationship that the person's currently in, or how they're choosing right now to be? So I think a lot of South African women are really homophobic, and we make it really difficult, especially for male South Africans, like men in our society, to speak out. I think we're really behind.
So we also need to teach what this is about. You understand? We need to understand our parents need to know, and our siblings, our aunts and uncles. Doesn't mean hore. And you know, it's said hore. Most people, once they open up, it's more of people write them off. So that's why most people are scared. So I just feel like we just need to teach our elders, especially
yes, as kids, like as that can be something, because I can't
because I feel
sit
like we're the first, 21st century kids. Is it 21st? Iran. Yeah, 21st. Yeah, so we're more educated, not per se, but then we can, with the little that we have, the little information that we have, let's teach what's good.
And not especially our parents. I feel like a lot of us are content with sitting and going, oh, my parents are homophobic. Even though we know it's the little things they do. Like, I'm not content with sitting here and be like, my mom said if I, like, it's not, it must be a conversation we're willing to have. And I don't think I've gotten to a place where I could have it with my parents per se. But I think it's a conversation to be had with people, just educating the next person so they can educate the next person.
Pride.
The end of pride is the beginning of humanity.
It
is, I'm serious. The moment you let go of yourself, of ego, of pride, of all these things that give you an entitlement of anything or anyone else, is the beginning of humanity and understanding what things.